Hey Young, my name is Megan Baldy. I am here at the Hoopa Valley Kamau Diabetes Clinic. Today I'm going to be hosting Cooking Club, and this club is funded by the Hoopa Valley Tribe, the Hoopa Family Resource Center, and Klamath Trinity Resource Conservation District. So today I'm going to be making salmon patties. I am going to use salmon that I usually make every year. What we do is when we kipper our salmon, I cut the belly out, and so everything that comes out of the belly we just throw into our jar and we can it up as a fresh can. So I don't add any salt or anything to my fresh can. I usually just can it up because I use it really frequently, so I don't have to put too much salt in it. So all the salt that we'll be adding today is the sea salt. I did a nutritional value on this through Food for People, and they said that if when you can your salmon, if you added a lot of salt, the sodium content might go up. But since it's not a lot of sodium in this, it's a really good it's a really good dish for people that have sodium problems. So what I usually do is I kind of chop it all up after I get it out. And you want to keep that oil in there because that oil helps when you make your patties. And it's good. It's omega-3 oils. I got a cup of rolled oats. I'm going to add it in. I like putting oats in my hamburger patties, salmon patties, any type of patties. I got eggs. These eggs came from my chickens that we have. Mix it all in. So when at home I usually use just regular salt, but because we're working with Diabetes Clinic today, I'm going to be using the sea salt. It all depends on what you can have, what you can't have. These recipes are very versatile and you can modify to your needs. Mix it all in together. This makes a good salmon loaf too. If you ever make salmon loaves, it's really good. So I'm going to take my produce. This is from Grady at Greenfire Farm. He supplied us with the kale and leek. Leek is just like an onion. It's really good. I'm going to cut the onion up first. I usually just take the top right off, and what I'll do with that top is I'll usually just give it to my chickens. But you can throw it in a compost pile as well. Okay, we're going to add all that into our salmon and cut up a couple stalks of kale, not a whole bunch. Now if you don't like the stalk part of it, you can cut it out. I usually just put the stalk and everything in any of the dishes that I do because I like it. Kale is a superfood. It's full of calcium, it's full of iron, it's full of vitamin C. It's one of the vegetables out there that have vitamin D in it. It's really good food. It's got protein in it, it's got omega-3s. That paired with the salmon makes for a really nice omega-3 dish and an iron-packed dish, which supports heart health, brain health, tons of stuff. And you're getting all those nice fats that you need for your body instead of like the bad fats out there. So I just chopped it all up, add it all in. I'm going to add some of these mixed greens. This mixed greens has like arugula in it, has some lettuce in it. I'm going to take some of the lettuce out because we could use that later for a salad. This actually came from George at Synergy Seeds in Willow Creek. He's one of the farmers that we work with. I'm going to cut up about a half a cup of it. He also supplied the spinach. One thing I recommend is if it's not sticky enough, which this might not be sticky enough, that we can make a salmon loaf out of it instead of a patty. I think it'll be sticky enough. If not, we can add more salmon to it. Yeah, it should be. Okay. Then I'm going to take a carrot, and now I'm just going to grate it in. This carrot came from Willow Creek Farms. Mike is a pretty good farmer. Worked with him for the last few years. He supplies a lot of local organic vegetables to a lot of places on the coast, restaurants, but he also supplies our veggie club with a lot of local root vegetables, organic greens. So I really like Mike. I'm going to be using all this and composting it. You can put compost in a bucket or a bowl, not a bowl, but a bucket or a bin outside. What I do is I usually feed this to my chickens, and if I don't feed it to my chickens, what I do is I mix it in with their chicken manure and just coffee grounds, eggshell. When it breaks down next year, utilize it as compost. So you want to mix everything up inside your bowl, and you just take about a handful of it, kind of put it together, roll it together, and patty it out. Now the secret to patties is to pat it down and roll it around with your thumb, just like this, so it sticks together. One good thing about making any type of patty, if you want your patty to stick together, is to roll it around with your thumb. Usually I teach my daughter how to make her patties. Ball it up, squish it together, and then roll it around with your thumb. Sorry, I'm all intense into my patty making. Just hoping that they stick together when they start frying. Usually what I do is when I'm making a bunch of patties, especially at home when I'm trying to do something real quick, I'll throw a baking pan in, like a broiling pan, and I'll line it with oil at the bottom, and then I'll start my patties in there, and at a high heat, probably like a 425, 475 heat. And then I'll cook it, brown it on one side and flip it over, and then cook it on the next side. But today I'm just going to fry it in the frying pan because I just want to brown it. Marry all these flavors of the vegetables and the leeks and the onions, the salmon together. I feel like I'm like totally out of my element with the camera. Before I put my salmon patties in is I like to warm my pan. I put it on a high heat, and also I have some coconut oil that I'm going to add to it. And I would gauge just about a couple teaspoons or tablespoons of coconut oil, just enough to coat your pan at first, and then you can add it in. So you want to circle it around your pan. I warmed up my coconut oil already, so it's already melted. But you want to coat your bottom of your pan and warm it up and get it ready for your patties. You want to have a good spatula. This one feels pretty firm, but it's also not a metal one that's going to scrape the bottom of my pan, but it feels like it's good enough to flip a patty over. You don't want to have a flimsy spatula when you're flipping patties. So I'm going to saute up some greens just to add some to the side. Mainly what I want to try to do is get everybody into having more greens in their diet. So if you can have this for a lunch side dish, you know, you'll be getting a lot of vegetables into your diet and your daily vegetable count that you need. These greens are full of mustard greens. They have arugula, they have baby kale, and just different types of green. Mustard greens. We've got some dandelion greens in there. It's a good little mixture of greens. I'm gonna try to flip over these guys. Woo! That one stayed together. Smells so good. I wish there was smell-o-vision. For your newer cooks out there, I would recommend try to keep your hands out of it as much as you can. But if you need to use your hand for support, try it out. Maybe you can use like some tongs instead of your hands to place over. But for you experienced cooks out there, go ahead and utilize that trick. Now you can use some brown rice with this. If you're making it for a dish at home, what I recommend that you do is add something to it, and then maybe put this over top of your rice, and then add some lemon juice on top of it, just to marry well with the salmon. Usually when I cook salmon patties, I usually do it till it's all the way browned on both sides, but I would say that each salmon patty dish probably would take about 10 to 15 minutes to cook and brown on both sides, and that's still at a high heat. And then the sauteed vegetables, I usually cook them till they're nice and limp, and usually that's around about 10 minutes or so to saute them. And you just want to keep stirring them and stir fry them up. So I just found a dish to put them in. It kind of fell apart, but you can see it's very browned. Mainly what you want to cook in there is the egg, because you don't want a raw egg in your patty. So you're cooking it long enough that you know that it would take to cook like scrambled eggs or a fried egg, so that you don't have raw eggs in your food. So what I did add was the rolled oats. You could add some flour to it, but you don't want to add a lot of carbohydrates in it. What the rolled oats have is some good healthy heart carbohydrates in it, and so you'll want to use something like that instead of regular flour, but you could use flour. The rolled oats are usually cooked or baked oats, and so they don't take as long to cook. So these greens are nice and stir fried. And I'm going to pull them out. As you can see, I'm cutting up a little bit of cilantro. This came from George at Synergy Seeds in Willow Creek, and I'm just going to do it a little bit for any garnish that anybody wants to have. I know that if you have fish tacos or any type of tacos, this is good on it, but it's also good with just to have that little bit of a palate cleanser with your food. Also, you can throw some lemon in some water. It adds electrolytes in there, and it also adds vitamin C from the lemon, and so it enhances your water. So when you're out on the summertime, you sweat a lot, and so you get a lot of your water out, but you don't want to overpower yourself and kind of like overdose yourself on too much water. What you want to do is you want to add to your water with some lemon. You could even add some cilantro in there, or you could add some mint in it, and it's just adding that extra electrolytes that your body is taking out. So thank you for joining us today at the Diabetes Clinic to promote local in-season foods. We have the local in-season salmon, we have the local in-season produce here that we're featuring, and now it's time to enjoy, and I really appreciate you all coming out today. Thank you.